Hi, my name is Olivia Taskoff. The target audience for this training is teachers, paraprofessionals, and any other support staff in a school. It can be an elementary school, middle school, or high school. The purpose of the training is to inform teachers on the short-term and long-term whys of ADHD, give teachers and staff an opportunity to look at the history of ADHD. So often I tell teachers, students, parents, as I'm educating them, that we have confused ADHD as something that is more behavioral, when in reality it is a neurological disorder. The purpose of the training would be to inform them that along with it being a neurological disorder, there's a lot of comorbidity, as we know, that looks similar to trauma, and informing teachers again of the importance and the value of being trauma informed, knowing, as I like to say, ADHD students and students who have learning disabilities and even students who have EBD, they also look like a duck, walk like a duck, but inside they're a turkey. So they may present themselves as trying to fit in or like any other student, when in reality they're masking so much. So informing teachers on what is it that is impacting the brain, taking through I have some slides in there on what a normal brain looks like, what an ADHD brain looks like, and teachers being able to look at the two different parts and also look at where there's some loss, and looking at the different gray matter, and that the brains are very much shaped differently. Also throughout the study, discussing about how in a child who has ADHD, there is delayed brain growth, and the goal would be that once we discuss that, we would look at the disorder versus symptoms versus impairments, and recognizing that the disorder itself is a neurogenetic disorder. The symptoms are more cognitive and behavioral in expression, as well as the impairments and the consequences and the symptoms, which lends perfectly in looking at distinguishing impairments from symptoms. We go right into understanding ADHD and trauma. And there was a Venn diagram that I found from the National Trauma Child Stress Network that is perfect. I mean, it's a beautiful Venn diagram where it has trauma on one side, ADHD on the other, and then the overlap between the two. And it allows me to have the opportunity, have the discussions with teachers of looking at that one question: why we need to ask, why do we need to ask ourselves, why should we be trauma informed? So often from teachers I'll hear, why can't they just, get over it? We didn't have all of this. We didn't need to go to therapy. And helping teachers to understand that this generation of students that we have is not our generation. When we discuss it, I'm in my 40s, I will tell teachers, I mean, think about how you grew up. People in my generation, we were the generation that had dial-up internet. We were the generation that had microwaves. And this generation, it is immediate gratification. So we can't get frustrated with students and with children who are so used to and have been raised in this immediate gratification. So when we're looking at diagnoses, disabilities, and trauma, we're expecting them to just be able to have a suck it up buttercup moment, when in reality their brains are not developed in the same way. They're really, I've looked at other studies where the brains now and brains back then, they're just not the same. Physiologically, they're just not the same. So it goes into understanding ADHD and trauma, as well as then going into trauma-informed practices. The purpose of my training would be also a training that we're going to do with teachers in the future on trauma-informed instruction with the social worker, so that we can help teachers to better understand, better connect with their students, so that they can reach them and teach them. The training would also go into the activities, would focus on executive functioning skills, So I've purchased the Smart But Scattered book, and I've used it with the students. So my handouts that I have, they're all ones that I was able to download because I purchased the book, so I've attached them as well. But the team activity that I am having the teachers do and would then have the students do is they fill out their own executive functioning form, and you look at what are the strengths. So then on a Google Doc, I'm having the teachers put their weaknesses and their strengths so that they can see, well, where you are weak, I am strong. Where I am strong, you are weak. Oh, this is where we're weak. And then be able to have those discussions of, well, this is why you and I work better in this situation. This is why you and I don't work as well and may struggle with each other. Myself as someone who has ADHD and struggles with time management, time blindness is a real factor. Well, my staff gets easily frustrated with me because of that time blindness, because one of my staff member, her strength is time management. So for her, it's very difficult to understand, what do you mean you just can't do this in this time frame? What do you mean you just procrastinated? And as a supervisor, as a leader, it's something that I know I continuously have to work on. So the activities would be to help the teachers see their own connections within their own teams and then be able to take and transfer that over with the students. One of the things that I love about that book as well is it gives you action plans. It's easily broken down. I use it with my students now who have ADHD, even with my students who have learning disabilities, just to help them understand that executive functioning skills are something that we all have and that we all need. Thank you.